We have 3 features tonight and then an open mic. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Our first feature. The open mic sign-up is back with me at the back by the fireplace. Our first feature tonight is Kat Jensen. Give it up for Kat.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Hi, all. Hi, adorable band behind me who's gonna serenade us all to my work. I'm gonna start us off with a piece of work that's in Screaming at America. Because we got a lot to scream about, right? By the way, it's the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. Here we go. So if you are a poet, aspiring or otherwise, and would like to experience yourself screaming at America, submissions have just opened for the next volume of this body of work. And I'm just gonna start Alright, so this is a bunch of things I can't and haven't been able to access as a queer person in America, currently and otherwise. So that's the vibe of the poem, if you get my drift. Band.
Are you sad about it or angry about it?
Oh, I'm fucking angry. And also sad. I'm heartbroken, actually. Yeah, like fucking heartbreak. Yeah. So, to give some context to get started, the title of this poem is in all caps, because we're screaming, y'all. To the stranger who asked me why I write so much about queer shit. An incomplete list, in no particular order. Because I didn't grow up knowing how to ask for permission to get to know or love myself. And now that I do, I will be fighting for the rest of my life to be allowed to. Because I didn't experience myself in books or on a screen or in popular culture in a way that wasn't an exclusive, cis, white, passive, sweet way until I was an adult. And even now, my identities as a non-cis, non-white, passing, non-twink adult are often reduced to a stereotype in the comfort of a white viewer. Because How are sounds out there, y'all?
Can you hear the voice?
Okay. I'm personally aware I have a much softer voice, so just
There's earplugs back there if anyone needs any.
Oh, okay.
yeah, earplugs in the back if you need that for your health and safety. Enjoy. Mhm. Our band are professionals, so we're giving them a moment to do their thing. Thanks all for being here. What do you think of this gorgeous space? Yeah. Thank you so much to everyone involved with Punketry, Forrest and Sarah, and this beautiful band behind me for making this event possible, bringing us together. If you did not know about this space, there is a museum-esque exhibit you can go explore. I think you have to make an appointment. I haven't gotten to do it yet, but I hear it's absolutely magical. Also, the bartenders here are wonderful. Tip them, take care of them, take care of yourselves. This is my book, Tales to Tell of the Old Gods. I am a historian now, but I used to be a space scientist, and I still infuse a lot of that into my work. And so these are some things I've written to Mars specifically, if you know astrologically and planetarily, God of War. But also Mars has specific proteins that are created in methane clouds and in lakes and other features that make it potentially possible to access life. In fact, planetary scientists are discovering new things every day about this. So I wanted to write to Mars about some things that on this planet we do. First, it's sort of this experience that's not pleasant, but then how we make up for it by the things that we do that are actually in love and joy. Because I think we always have to come back to that. And those things are intrinsically connected, right? Our rage and our joy. So this is a tale I would tell to Mars. On this planet, we burn our own. Incinerate breath and molars and second skin, advocate for shuddering across and access to photosynthesis. Turn eyes away from every missile launch, every bomb drop. On this planet, burial is not a birthright. It is income dissolving and emotionally draining and desperate. It is foreclosing on property made of wood and stone to afford a return to the earth we once came from on this planet. It is illegal for my trans body to exist across too many borders. It is just like borders, too false and story tale and not for everyone. It is too terrifying to hold a lover's hand in public, to reveal who I come home to. On this planet, bodies that experience pregnancy are not venerated. They are for profit and procreation and for the pleasure of others. Children are taught to hide under desks, to bully, to silence their need for a howl. On this planet, other beings are not family. Fauna and flora and beasts are not chosen or worthy of their habitats, their homes. They are poisoned and trampled and overgrown and hunted for greed. On this planet, we struggle to breathe, to find ourselves, to hold a flashlight to our grief, to hold ourselves and one another tightly enough. The morning here is never ending. But in counter to that, on this planet, we worship our own. Care tenderly for hands and heartbeats and howls, open blinds to let all the light in. Turn towards every action of uplift, moments of desired compassion. return to the earth in the roots of a tree, swirling in a keepsake for a loved one. It is celebration and releasing songs and curating memories of pure adoration. On this planet, it is safe for my body to exist in many spaces. It is beauty affirmed verbally and through touch, worshipped and desired and adored just as it is and as I want it to be. We hold hands and kiss unafraid in parks and on dance floors and in parades. On this planet, bodies that experience pregnancy are brought meals and sweet gifts, are the recipients of unrepressed joy and excitement and a village. Children on this planet are taught to love themselves, to have empathy, to speak up on behalf of others. On this planet, other beings are also chosen. Fauna and flora and beasts welcomed into our windowsills, on our gardens, in trees we designed just for them, on the foot of our beds. On this planet, our lungs open wide, to shout for ourselves, to hold a sunbeam to our survival, to cradle ourselves and one another as much and as often as we need. The rejoicing here is a flame, a hymn, a breath.
One more? Yeah. Thanks, Sarah. This one is called We Got Us, and it's for anyone who needs this. It's a reflection on this current time, but how much we bring to each other together, and how we got us. We're gonna be okay. We are alive. There we go. I know it feels like we have awoken in the belly of a morgue, but I can feel your heartbeat echoing in my palm when your hand is in mine. The flowers on my windowsill are still thriving despite winter chill leaking in from the outside, and a baby girl I know wearing glittery socks is laughing and laughing and laughing. Last night, I dreamt I buried my lungs, opened a cavern in a forest that was so much like home. There is wood smoke and pine in my hair. The alkaline does as it does, swallowing them whole. Alveoli inheriting the earth and breathing out us, feeding on decaying matter just as we are returned to stardust. Darlings, collect your witches, your mages, your archivists, your librarians and historians and artists and healers and woodworkers and sculptors. Call your astronomer and your astrologer and the person who reads your tarot. Call your aunties who can make enough soup to feed the village, drag queens who can run morning story time, dentists who can play the guitar. We are the village. We got us. I know sometimes it's difficult to feel a pulse, but I know a doctor who's also a poet. Have so many surrogate mothers, we will never go unloved. I know a chemist who makes the best sweetbread, an engineer who can sing spirituals, an anthropologist with the most beautiful indigenous name, the length of a river. I can feel you in my bones when we hug. This is the belly of a whale loves. And the good news is we've heard this one before. Take my hands and not the hooks. We can fly ourselves up and up and up. See, there are hints from whale tracheas in the heavens that hum to the constellations how deeply we love us. I know a botanist who can gather sweet moss, a folklorist who can sail a boat, an archaeologist who can teach us how to defend ourselves, an exhibit designer who can paint us a portrait of your sweet dog. This is the call in our hero's journey. We got us. I know a welder who will make us the best. We are safe here signs. Somatic healers and yoga teachers and sex educators and cake workers. The revolution will be startlingly sexy if we want it to be. With consent, and if that's your thing, of course. I know it's difficult to awaken without tasting iron, but iron is essential for plant growth, and I know ace babes who can plant us a garden. A lawyer who can paint butterflies that will fly off a canvas. A cellist who can make your soul dance. They have nothing on us. Not our knowledge, not our music, not our art. The flags they have brought to this glitter fight will not outlive us. Their flags are boring, uninspired, riddled with unhealed pain. Our flags are so beautiful. And remember, glitter never fucking goes away. I know it can feel like we are alone in a tidal wave, but there are folks here who can speak to trees, track the heartbeats of salmon, find beauty on a front porch. We have trans teens who can keep us how to keep decorating ourselves. We are the teachers and social workers and writers and healers and growers and connectors and scientists and movers and everything they have been warned not to trust. Our power and collective. Love is a threat, is a wonder, is a must. They have nothing on us. Not our love, not our joy, not our holding. We are alive, our lungs are full. Take a breath, take a breath. We got us.
Give it up for Kat. Thank you, Kat, so much. That was beautiful. Friends, we have two more featured performers tonight. And then our open mic, our next featured performer is Iggy Gayomba. Give it up for Iggy. All the way up.
I need to say hi to the team. Okay, let's give me some funky beat. 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 Come on, give me some funky beat. 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 Give me some funky. Give me some funky. Give me some funky beat. Give me some funky beat. Come on. Give me some funky. flying off. I'm flying. I got this song. It's a new song from an old poem from a revolutionary Sandinista Trappist monk priest called Ernesto Cardenal. He wrote it a long time ago. He passed away. Let me give you the beat first. I'll say it in English first, so you know what I'm gonna be singing. He says, when I lost you, you and I lost. Me, because you were the one who I loved the most. And you, because I was the one who loved you the most. But between you and I, you lost more than I. Because I'm gonna be able to love others the way I love you. But nobody's gonna be able to love you like I did. Al perderte yo a ti, tú y yo hemos perdido. Al perderte yo a ti, tú y yo hemos perdido. Yo porque tú eras lo que más yo amaba y tú Punketry night. Keep going. I retired this poem from Boulder because I've read it just enough, but I've never read it in Lakewood. In the future, I will write intergalactic poems with the tiny keys on my iPhone. I will build and send off electric Avalokiteshwara mandala songs to my future self, dropping letters and binding them together like pottery, holy Rudrashka seeds and argonauts left in the wake of the tides of my previous self. Like the skin of a rattlesnake left behind, rattling of the glowing screen of my Maraca iPhone, while George Papas eats a Reuben sandwich in the basement of the Roxy during an open mic about the future. In the future, I will always begin where I left off and teach my sons and daughters how to converse with and bring back our ancestors, to heal scars with our own blood, to build bridges between the stars with the inextinguishable fire of our drums kept alive, from father to son, from granddaughter to great-granddaughter, through genocides and slave ships and pandemics. In the future, I will leave where I started. I will write poems in English to my children who won't speak Spanish. In the future, I'll dedicate my life to my children, to my wife. I'll dedicate my life to the eradication of plastics from the water cycle, so clean water can fall again from the sky over Corcovado and Darjeeling, over El Yunque and the Rocky Mountains, over the mountains of Black Elk. In the future, thunder will strike during my first vision quest, and I will be a heyoka, a sacred clown. I will be the mystical fool, a fool who gave himself completely to the blazing star of love. In the future, I'll grow from the inside out. I'll find my precious mind by chopping my head off. I'll live life fully by fully accepting the death of every moment. I will love myself finally as I love my neighbors. I'll dedicate my life to wife and children. I'll change the world by letting things be just as they are. I'll cry when I'm happy. I'll laugh when I'm filled with sorrow. I will sing the song of the wild horses in the alpenglow of the future. I'll write the perfect song and let it loose and free, forever lost, like a quetzal bird, never to be seen or heard again, flying and lost into the rising sun of midnight. My feet and hands will be dirty with the earth in the future, and I will be as good and mighty as a ladybug with the heart of a world champion, and I will teach St. George how to fly dragons. Thank you. Black Market Translation is in the house.
Give it up for Iggy!
And yeehaw to you too. I am just a cowboy, lonesome on the trail. A starry night, a campfire light, the coyote call, and the howling winds wail. So I'll ride out till the old sundown. I am just a cowboy, lonesome on a trail. Lord, I'm just thinking about a certain female and the nights we spent together riding on the range. Looking back, it didn't seem so strange. Thank you.
Sheriff ain't trailer here, did he?
I forgot, this one's on my cowboy phone as well. When you're a cowboy, they call it a cowboy phone. Some of you don't know that. That's okay. Now you do, partner. All right, cowboy. Really small. He was a cowboy, mister, and he loved the land. He loved it so much he could cry, and he did cry. He cried a lot. He cried when he saw the sun set in the west. He cried when it rose in the east. He cried while he splashed in rivers up north. And to the south, among the magnolias, boy oh boy, did he cry. Great big tears running down his cheeks, getting his mustache all wet. Because, consarn it, he really did love the land. Because he was a cowboy, mister. He had all the requisite cowboy stuff. The hat, obviously, and the shirt and all that. And the gun hanging on that thingy on his waist. That cowboy thingy they used to hold their guns. His gun held exactly 6 bullets, because that's just how many they hold when you're a cowboy. Sometimes, when he was all alone, he'd pull that gun out of that thingy and point it at random trees, pretending they were bad guys. And he'd say cool cowboy phrases like, "Dance, pilgrim!" And the trees, with their branches in the air, would say, "Please, don't shoot!" And usually he'd let them go. But if he was particularly anxious that day, he'd shoot them anyways. Blam, blam, blam! And then he would cry, because it was all so beautiful. Yes, sir, he was a cowboy, all right. He ate beans for breakfast and whiskey for dinner. And when he was lonely, he'd drink whiskey. And he was always lonely, mister, on account of his cowboy ways. Sure, he could garland a lass. He could bacchanal and hoot nanny and wind up bedded in hay with some Martha from a farm. Stay, she'd say. And he really wanted to. Him and Martha on a farm, 6 kids and growing wheat in endless rows. Cuddling up night after night after night till the kids were grown and he was in his rocking chair years. He wanted it so bad, but he just couldn't. it just wasn't the cowboy way. No matter the Martha, he'd slip out into the night and blow into the dark like a tumbleweed. And later, around the campfire, he'd think of his Martha and he'd cry and cry, and he'd smoke hand-rolled cigarettes. And he'd drink. He would drink whiskey until he threw up. And then he'd drink some more. He'd drink like he wanted to die, because I did want to die. The loneliness gets so bad sometimes you'll take any escape. And no amount of whiskey or tumbleweeds or sunsets can save you. And reaching down to his thingy, the cowboy pulled out his gun and pointed it in the air, counting out 6 blasts. Blam, 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 blam. Thank you. Howdy, Cliff. Cowboy Cliff on bass. Sun shone from heaven and parted old Brantwood of its nightly gloom. The boot shop, the barber's spinning pole, the random blackness of a street cat, all drenched in the gleam of high noon. A cowboy's hour, fit for riding, roping, backstroking down a creek without cares and concerns. Ert stumbled half drunk from a hay pile, where 2 moments earlier he'd been fast asleep. Nearly dead from drink and dreaming of her. Some sunless someone whose face was as familiar as his own, yet as abstract as numbers, and bumbled dirtily into the day. Old Brantwood couldn't have been more beautiful if it was a painting, or a horse, or a woman. It was, in fact, all of those things and more. His eyes welled at the sight of it, the smell, and overwhelmed, he puked. The puke burned his throat like whiskey, which much of it was, but also scraps of bread and beans he couldn't recollect eating. A walloping sadness rushed to fill the vacancy inside him, so completely consuming he wished to puke again. And he did, with gusto. But instead of sadness, only beans and wet burn came out. And corn. When did he eat corn? He recalled the saloon, the first couple cups down his gullet, but the rest was opaque. He doffed his cowboy hat across his knee, spit half a corn kernel into the dirty street, wiped his maw with his cleanest hands, and shuffled feet after feet toward the hitching post where old Glue Toe stood dutifully in wait. Hungry boy, he said, outstretching an old apple from his knapsack toward the horse's mouth. Nay, neighed old Glue Toe, shaking his horse head side to side. Me neither, said Herb. And reaching for his knapsack, replacing the apple with his flask, he took a big glug, then another, and tried to recall the face from the dream. Who? Where? Should he hang himself now, or put it off one more day? Thank you. This one's called The Cowboy Scoots Away. About time, he said, to get to riding. Welp, said Ert, slapping his knees and moving to stand. Yep, said Cocaine Dave, digging his heels into the dirt and pushing his body upright. He clapped the dirt off his boots, readjusted his hat. There we go. And tilted his head up to stare directly at the shining sun. Don't that burn your eyes? Said Ert. Yup, said Cocaine Dave. Without blinking or turning his head, Ert was impressed. When'll I see you again? Well, Cocaine Dave smiled. It's about a woman, so I really can't say. Could be a season, could be longer. Won't be forever, never is. Well, said Ert. Well, said Cocaine Dave. Put her there! And he outstretched his hand. Ert raised his dirty hands and went to shake Dave's. Too slow, said Dave, whipping his hand away at the last moment, and used his thumb and forefinger to smooth out his eyebrows. Then he picked up one of them lime scooters from off the ground, popped his right boot up onto its deck, and with a wink and a nod said, "Hasta el juego, hombre." Huh? Said Ert. But Cocaine Dave was already speeding away, leaving a cloud of dust in his wake, riding toward that great big yellow sun without so much as a squint. Y'all know any country music or? I didn't think so.
I can pretend. I'm sure I could get by. I think I could get by.
I'm kidding.
No requests. Can I have fucking jukebox?
Y'all don't got any cowboy chords back there?
That was what we had.
Another night, another lonely mirror. My shirt sleeve serves to wipe away the dust. Now clearer, I inspect my graying teeth and notice, 'tween the front two, wedged, a chive. Oh, wow, you really do. And notice, 'tween the front two, wedged, a chive. First thing first, a floss of string and wax. A kettle over fire set to boil. A lump upon my skin. A zit? A boil? Staring at me redly in the mirror. I ask the bastard, ready? And I wax. About decaying bodies and of dust. And as I ponder death, I poke the chive. And with my tongue, release it from my teeth. I grab a comb and run my mustache through its teeth. I bump the lump, a fever in me boils. The pain too much, my lip screams and chives. My comb hand clenches, my free hand mirrors. My thoughts reduce to screams and then to dust. The candle flickers flame and drips with wax. The kettle bubbles, chattering like teeth. It's time for this here red lump to bite dust. My bloodlust rising, hot like water at its boil. I lower my knife, shining like a mirror, and drown it in the kettle like a chive. That's a Sestina. Thank you. Do I got more time to buy out? One more! One more. Well, all right.
Quit hogging all the fun.
It was in here. It was in here.
I just seen her.
I just seen her. Oh, no, no.
I think she's about a yard down the road.
This is called When I Die. When I die, unbury the memory and send it skyward, where with arms and wings I'll pluck them from the clouds. Feed my halls of things to chippers and let the chips stand for hubris. Let loose microbes at the meat and say, he did one good at least. And when the food of me is over, allow my pewter its rightful place amongst the rocks of earth. And read, at last, the letters I taped under all your chairs. There's gold out there. I know one of you will find it. Thank you, and howdy.
Give it up for Cowboy Clown! Alright. So, y'all, we have an open mic.
My stick breaks.
We have an open mic. I have 9 people signed up. Let's try to do 3 to 5 minutes. I'll be sitting here giving you a stern look if you go up after that. Alright. First up to the open mic is Eli. Give it up for Eli.
Alright. We're gonna get in there yet one day. Alright, I know which this one's. Should I get the guitar? Alright. Where was I? This one's called As Is. I've been leaning into acceptance. Not because what is acceptable, but because it must be. If you follow me. A sage and silly lady told me that when I argue with reality, I suffer, but only every time. So, the oceans must rise, the forests must dry, the fires must fan, the politicians must lie. The children must starve. The activists must act. The despairing must die. The cat must nap. The sunflowers must bloom. The wind must blow. The water must fall to the earth below. The martyrs must die. The poets must sigh. The mothers must scream. The babies must cry. The speakers must speak. The thinkers must think. The world must be given from the brazen to the meek. For you say you love me. You should know I'm inconsistent. At times hesitant, avoidant. At times intent, gregarious. You should know I think I'm hilarious. And I always take things so serious. You should know I value consistency over charisma, diligence over popularity, but I'm susceptible to charm, flirting and caring. You should know I started a band when I was old enough to know better. And I will loan you my sweater, but I will want it back. You should know I'm generous to my detriment. I won't notice I'm giving too much until I look into an empty cupboard. You should know I haven't missed rent since me and my kid lived in a car, but it's been close. And I have gone hungry. You should know I tend to break when I could use a break. You should know I've slept alone so long I don't actually know if I want you to spend the night. You should know I'm overly devoted to my dojo and my knee is thrice fucked. You should know I'm smelly and noisy and scrappy and feisty, and for some reason a whole lot of people seem to really love me. You should know that I fancy myself an activist, but I read more than I act, and that I am an aspiring sword owner who feels deeply and speaks too quickly. And you should know that I write way too many poems with the word I.
I do feel the need to say that your banter with the band counts towards your time. So take that as you will. Number 2 is David Duchovny.
So watch out.
David Duchovny.
David.
Alright, so what are we doing here? Whatever you want. Alright,
I've got a,
dealer's choice.
Who's the dealer right now?
there's a poem I heard once that I really liked. So I stole it. I'm going to perform it right now. It's called Confessions of a Terminal Romantic. Confessions of a Terminal Romantic. Someone else wrote it and I liked it and I stole it. The terminal romantic follows his heart into the ash can of oblivion. The terminal romantic wakes up to bang his head against an ever-changing world where stability and independence are virtues, where the soul learns to be quiet and cries out to no one. Oh, terminal romantic, relic from a bygone day. Who carried flowers up SAIC stairwells. Who paid off the watchman to make out in the secret room of the Indian Spring. Who gave 100 hours of spit and steel wool, reinvigorating a decayed tandem bicycle which might carry us into the sunset. Who flew out of the Seattle airport and cried uncontrollably in her arms at the top of the escalator. Who mailed out 20-page stories from rehab, time and again, in unabashed pursuit of that wistful grimace. Oh, terminal romantic. This label you must own. Who gambles for love and loves to lose. Who tries forever in vain to keep his name in play, who showed up at her place in a rental car an eternity later, expecting nothing and leaving with as much. Who sent scarves to her sober house for Christmas, which were likely sent back. This isn't fluff, this isn't hyperbole, these are confessions. Storybook spin artists, heart-hungry hounds, narcissistic, codependent, gaslight inferno. This terminal romantic cares not for the latest fun. I've grown tired of the antiseptic rubber glove world. If desperate, messy, naked love has been outlawed, I'll see you in court.
Here, I'm David.
Thank you, David. Next is Melanie Noble. Give it up for Melanie Noble.
I don't know, something, fight the power. Alright. Start with something short. Overpowering we. Release our stories, release our wounds, release our hearts. Release our stories, release our wounds, release our hearts. Held hostage by the decrees written by men long deceased. For their forefathers decided the fate of my case long before the wounds were even inflicted. I stand here now still constricted by laws protecting those who have used me and abused me. And oh, how this still confuses me. As I release again the shame from all the men too cowardly to admit crimes for how they overpowered me. Oh, how the truth would devour thee. It's almost like they premeditated, taking power from the weak, yearning so desperately to be free. That was a short one. Alright, this is a new one. Alright, it's called The Bible in the Courtroom. So, however a Bible would sound in a courtroom feeling misrepresented. Very unheard. As I was leaving, I asked the Bible in the courtroom how it felt about its career. Do you feel well represented? Do you enjoy being here? It didn't reply at first, surprised it was being addressed directly. I've been here for over 40 years, it replied, and no one has ever asked me that. I'm just used to being touched without my consent, it told me bluntly. Picked up and handed around to strangers, lost souls who are hurting or need to repent. Promising to use me for truth, for justice, for love. They placed their right hand on my faded cover and promised to speak truthfully. Though my meaning is unknown to most of those hands laid upon me, promising something they cannot see. I state clearly not to judge, or you too will be judged, for in the same way you judge others, your own judgment will be spun. I instruct the ways of the righteous, yet my leaves are rarely read. Egos leading most proceedings, truth and heart left out of their pleadings. Devastating facts are discarded by the intense pull of fantasy, that dream that only a few children have ever been touched inappropriately. The truth, however, is quite unfortunately far, far away from this contrived reality. Victims of sexual assault and domestic violence are further bullied. They could be believed and protected, but instead they are called liars, bankrupted, and demoralized systematically. Children are removed from families by bearers of false witnesses, a right not given by God, nor the state created to protect its citizens. This punishment is used to silence the truth about sexual abuse and promote the guise of innocence. Instead of hearing admissions and forgivenesses, the love and sanity of the veritas are fervently destroyed and are deemed unfit parents. So no, feel well represented, or my contents even considered. My career has been a farce, a false veil of ethics, safeguarding laws, creating more trauma in big businesses. But the stone that the builders had rejected has become the cornerstone, and whatever is concealed will be brought out into the open. It's past time that my morals are implemented by those bound to the canons of the chosen. I ask in reply, then what can we do? They didn't believe, me too. It considered my question again before replying. It's not the healthy who need the doctor, but the sick. Those unwilling to put goodness, truth, kindness, respect, personal responsibility, and integrity above politics. Those labeling truth tellers as heretics. My words heal the lost, the lonely, the tired. Those who unknowingly followed the wolves instead of the Messiah. Brought here to hide what they stole and then conspired. Wolves bringing in their sheep who no longer be controlled or blindly follow. When the blind lead the blind, all will fall into a pit, even if it is shallow. However, all that is hidden is meant to be discovered. That's what this room is truly for. To find the facts and then forgive one another. If you're asking what you can do, read me for yourself and find out the truth. These games have been repeating since before my first debut. I am not a religion, rather a guide for morality, so hell doesn't ensue. Words from one's heart can either define or defile. So love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be daughters and sons of your Creator in heaven. Blessed are the persecuted, the peacemakers, the freedom chasers, and the earth wakers. Blessed are the humble, creating harmony above the rumble. For theirs is the kingdom of heaven on earth. Therefore, in everything that you do unto others as you would have done unto you.
Thank you, Melanie. Next is Caleb. Caleb Seeks. Give it up for Caleb.
Good evening. My first poem's a little bit of a shorter one, like an intro. All right, we in. With paper and pen I write, not of the scholarly type, but of a rambling man, heart ignited by the raw forms of life. Campfires and smoke rings, talk of far-off places, memories like postcards, dreams forgotten. By morning, I roll up my map, pack my tent like I've done 1,000 times before. Each day different, never the same, always something new in store. It's a life I'll always treasure, however long it lasts. Just a backpack and a notepad, the ancient trees. The ancient trees, the braided streams, clean air, and the bees. So it's called Patches. Well, I'm no hippie, but it's kind of trippy, this rambling life I've come to know. I've got a wandering soul that can't be told or sold or molded into something trendy. I wear old hats, grow my hair out long, something you could put in a song. The boots on my feet, they've walked hundreds of miles on old dirt roads where pickup trucks kick up dust that collects on my sweaty brow. rather behind my ears. I don't even bat an eye, because I know this rambling life is the one I chose. I've got family back at home, they don't care to roam, but it's better that way, or they'd end up alone. Oh, take me to Texas, where I can climb the old oaks, swim in muddy creeks, far from rooted, but missing my roots. Some things never change, and that's good, in a world that only wants change. In and out of reality, but what is reality? I used to think it was big bank accounts, steak dinners, fancy clothes, diamond rings. Now I know it's just you and me. I've got my honey on my arm, a few bucks and an old leather wallet that smells like cheap tobacco and musk. Oh, this dirt road goes on for miles, and nobody wants to pick up the hitchhiking hippie. The deer don't need a ride on modern machinery, so why should I? When the deer needs food, it eats. When the deer gets thirsty, it drinks. Me, I just hear the clink, clink, clink of my tin can hitting me in the seat of my pants. A memory rises from the grave, like an old rabid dog, missing patches of hair here and there. Don't go barking up the wrong tree, you see. You just might find what you were looking for. Gentle at first, like a catfish on the other end of the line, and then all at once, like that feeling you get mixed of weed and alcohol, knowing good and well you should have avoided both. The dog cries, the leaves quiver, the bobber goes under, glass shatters, the flame goes out, and all at once, everything goes silent. Alright, I'm gonna speed this one up for you guys. This was called Smoking Man. I wrote this while I was hiking the Pacific Crest Trail a couple summers ago, so here we go. Smoking Man, you really can't beat him. He hides in the back of train cars, bars, motel cafes, and just about any old place with a come on inside and 10 of whiskey, no ice. He sees country blues and tales long ago, and if you listen long enough, you might even know he can smoke through a pack, blowing like a coal locomotive through Louisiana swampland. Smoking Man, how do you do it? That old traveler soul that never needs to sleep. Just another cigarette and a lyric to keep. To know him is to love him. Can't help but judge him. He's as free as the pines. Hardly waits in lines, but if he does, he never seems to mind. He's old, that Smoking Man. He's been around the block. Got punches and heartaches. Never seems to stop. Whether it's fishing, rocky streams, he always smoke reeds from beneath that dirty old cap. He's got one thing right, that'll always be. When the light goes out, the tobacco's all smoked. He'll still be sitting there, boots up, shirt tucked. I wait rather not hear the flames. Got one bullet left at the end of the card game. You don't ask for much, just a stool and flame, or maybe just a poem to remember his name. You only ever meet him once, out in the train yard in the hush, between neon or out in the brush. Smoking Man, where you gonna go? Back to the tracks, chasing ghosts, kicking some sparks, leaving stories like burn marks.
Give it up for Kayla! That was a very impressive speed it up. I was skeptical. But well done. That was really great. Give it up for Virginia!
Okay, I'm not chatting with you except to say that this has something to do with drums. 200 ways to make noise, bang the drum of resistance. Abortion, accessibility, activism, advocacy, affirmative action, affordable housing, agricultural water, agrovoltaics, anti-racism, asexual at-risk, autism, aviation, flu, barrier, bias towards, bioenergy, biogas, biomethane, biopop, bisexual, carbon footprints, carbon markets, CEC, changing climate, clean energy, clean fuel, clean water, climate change, climate consulting, climate crisis, climate models, climate science, climate variability, diverse backgrounds, diverse communities, diverse groups, diversifying, diversity and inclusion, diversity, equity, and inclusion, EJ, elderly, emissions, entitlements, equity, equity, ethanol, ethnicity, exclusion, fluoride, gay, gender bias, violence, geothermal, groundwater pollution, Gulf of Mexico, bird flu, hate speech, health, Hispanic community, historically, housing efficiency, identity, ideology, immigrants, implicit biases, inclusion, inclusive leadership, inclusiveness, inclusivity, increased diversity, increase the diversity, indigenous community, injustice, Latinx, lesbian, LGBTQ, low emission, vehicle, marijuana, measles, membrane filtration, migrant minorities, MSI, MSM, MX, Native American, net zero, non-binary, non-citizen, non-conforming, pollution, obesity, opioids, orientation, pansexual, peanut allergies, people and uterus, people of color, people-centered care, PFAS, pregnant people, pregnant persons, prejudice, privileges, promote diversity, promoting diversity, pronouns, prostitute, queer, race and ethnicity, racial diversity, racial identity, racism, runoff, rural water, safe drinking water, science-based sediment remediation, segregation, sexuality, social justice, social vulnerability, soil pollution, solar energy, stereotypes, subsidized housing, tax breaks, tax credits, tax subsidies, they, them, violence, topics of federal investigations, transsexualism, transgender, transitional housing, trauma, dramatic, tribal, two-spirit, unconscious, bias, victims, vaccines, vulnerable, water collection, water conservation, water distribution, water efficiency, water management, water pollution, water quality, water storage, water treatment, white privilege, women power, women and underrepresented women in leadership. Well, the Department of Interior, the Centers of Disease Control, the Department of Agriculture, NASA, FEMA, the Department of Energy, the Department of Defense, the National Security Agency, the National Science Foundation, and the White House. Remove any mention that promotes diversity, equity, and inclusion. Unmention all women and the non-white healers, lawyers, celebrities, authors, soldiers, scientists, leaders, and then they go after all the ranchers and the farmers and the activists and the scholars and the educators and the researchers and the medical experts and all the gays and queers and the communists and the socialists, and that's not to say anything about Social Security or any form of insurance. And if they can, they go after the artists and the poets, and if they do that, this room will fall silent, and the drums of resistance drums of resistance. The drums of resistance will fall silent. So no, we must bang the drums in our chests, wag the tongues in our mouths, say the names and say the words, and remember the winds, the trees, the worms, the soil, the animals, the tiny, tiny things, the mountains, the seas, the volcanoes are all cheering us on! Cheering us on! Asking us to keep talking, keep banging the drums of resistance, and all those words on this list, censorship, be damned.
Give it up for Virginia! My favorite line was pansexual peanut allergies. Next up on the open mic is River. Give it up.
I always just say polluted river system is the vibe. Also, I'm wearing a Pacific Trail shirt, and your poem was about the Pacific Trail, so that's wild. Okay, let's do this. Another day with all its hope and heaviness and sunshine and dried out rose beds, with its meals and hunger and sadness and chance meetings. Am I doing this right? Is someone watching and keeping score? Maybe I watch myself, but am I a reliable judge? Or do I fudge the numbers to fit my own narrative? To fit someone else's narrative? I always liked the idea of judging a day by the amount of seeds you have planted. What seeds can I sow today? Other than the usual petroleum-dependent escapades and all the plastic covered, I need these to live. And that's just the way this society works. Who am I to change it? Today I'm gonna try dancing again. I haven't done that in a while. Let
up for the band. Woo! Give it up for Prismajic. Woo! Give it up for the full moon. Woo! Today is a portal. Squids says, happy manifesting. Then plays a song, Run Like Wolves by Cat Empire. Lyrics like sparkle and shine. Gonna run like wolves. Maybe one day we will stay still, watch the world. I am reminded of a poem which says, watch the world begin its unmaking. Remake mundane into magic, into Prismajic. The work of the performer, the artist, is to remind the public that mundane is magic. To reinvigorate a sense of awe. The type of awe that sustains the survival of a species in distress. To transform distress to use stress. Transform distress to use stress, to we stress, to we rest, to we heal, to wheel. The wheel of time turns from distress to use stress, to we stress, to we rest becomes we heal. The wheel of time. In packs of performers whose job is not to compete but contest. The performer's job is not to compete for the ego but to contest the ego. Who are we? Shadows, amplified by light. Who are we? You, a nervous system reverberator, attuning to your nervous system, attuning to all the nervous systems surrounding you. Avant-garde doers of mundane tasks, like upcycling tinfoil and shoveling snow into hearts and turning the sky into an IMAX theater. Eyes maximizing their ability to perceive a beautiful view. Any view can be a beautiful view. Channel of intentional energy. Channels who give a fuck, who sincerely give a fuck, who sincerely choose to give a fuck. You, a scientist of the profound nature of sound, an engineer experimenting with how to alchemize mundane into magic, simplicity into creativity, hurt into hope, poison to medicine, disillusionment into connection. Appreciators of aesthetic beauty, eyes of an artist, heart of an artist, brain, voice, mind, body, soul, spirit, aura of an artist, steward of life. Peacefinder. Pacifist who knows how to use a fist if necessary. Healer of generational trauma, so beautiful like delicate glass. A heart capable of breaking, capable of both breaking and withstanding. Still standing strong enough, the pressure of in the quantum fields of atomic atonement, you. A quantum field of atomic atonement, an emotional echo transmuting itself into art. You who usher in the next era of healing from each exhale. Subterranean sound fairies. Breathe in. You who don't need to be seen to be believed. Thank you, BMG. Thank you, Dream. This is Dream's transitionary punketry. Yeah? Yeah. We love Dream. We love Dream so much.
Give it up for Maggie. Complimenting the band all is Miriam. Give it up for Miriam.
Here I am. Here I am. I just want to say, I know this cuts into my time, but I want you to look at the flyers that I passed out on the tables and tell me what is similar about each of these people. They are all dead, and they are all artists, musicians, or poets of Denver. And on the 16th, we are going to do a honoring of dead poets of Denver, poets, artists, and musicians. It will be a whole ofrenda. Hector Munoz and I are working in tandem to create this. It'll be on the 16th. You should come. The open mic is from 6 to 10. You can bring one poem that's your own, and the other you should read from my library of the dead, of Denver's beloved poets. So check it out. Look and figure out who they all are. And yeah, please do that. All right, let's do this poem. It's called My shadow is a 50-story Jewish mother ready to smother you into love oblivion. My shadow is a shady stripper ready to rob you blind after showing you a meaningful time. My shadow is a ready revolutionary ready to set it all on fire and grow from the ashes. Don't belong and continues to create safe spaces for others who don't easily go along together now. My shadow, my shadow, my shadow, my shadow, my shadow knows that I want to sing my own song. My shadow holds my crown when I don't feel strong, holds my hair back when I feel like I want to vomit, but instead I belt out a different tune, laugh at the moon, because it's the sound I've been searching for all along. Order my day. My shadow helps me strategize my sleigh. My shadow knows rest is sacred and creates hidden portals to sleep in. My shadow wakes my ass up so I don't go too deep in the shadow. Shadow.
this band. I love Dream. I'm gonna miss him a lot when he leaves. I know. We've been living together for like the past year, or not year, almost a year. Might as well be. Let's do the first one like a little slow romantic, and then the second one y'all can do whatever you want. Okay. Mornings, where I wake up on the edge of the bed, 'cause you are clinging to me. I hear your little snores, but they don't keep me up. I look at you in admiration, sweet and soft while sleeping. Maybe I'm a little bit jealous, wishing I could sleep in after the sun has been up for hours. But yet, a part of me wants to wake you, so I can say good morning, and we kiss each other with morning breath. In this moment, though, where lo-fi plays and we are silent, I am so happy, looking at all the love that can rest around me. Feeling safe with someone can make you sleepy around them. And I fell asleep the first time I was in your arms. I don't think I can sleep as well when you're not around. The bed suddenly too big for me. I look forward to our sleepovers, 'cause I know we will fill each other's beds, mix up the sheets, and a blanket falls to the ground. And I turn off my heater for the night, because I am always warm next to you. Thank you. This next one's about a banana. I am ripe. I am fresh. 3 together until separated, one by one. The colors are perfect, bright, and attractive. And I am on top. The thought of being undressed is appealing to me. Clothes slowly being ripped apart. Feeling me slip inside of you and bite me. I can feel the aging though. A fast process. Bruises are forming. I am very sensitive. The brown spot slowly pops up, and I am going to turn to mush, and I may be left there to rot.
Give it up for Zeta Sage. Give it up for all your open mic performers. Give it up for Kat and Iggy and Cowboy Clam. Give it up for Black Market Translation and Orchestra and Prismajic. And y'all, you have been a wonderful audience. You just need a few more minutes of your time. So, Miriam's event is on November 16th. And the night before, if you would also like to be at the mutiny, is our November Punketry. So that's a Saturday, and it's super exciting because actually Punketry is going to be moving to Saturdays. So they're giving us the big bill. Pretty exciting stuff. So Saturday, November 15th, Punketry. Sunday, November 16th, the Dia de los Muertos event. Yeah, come in and hang out with us. Anything else I should announce under the microphone? You can buy a t-shirt, you can also steal one. Okay, thank you so much. Y'all have a great night.
Happy full moon. Oh shit. And Aspen's running an event tomorrow night at the Boulder Public Library with a bunch of friends and enemies.